So in case you haven't seen, if you've been living under a rock or you have a life outside of the internet, one of the two, Moistcr1tikal and a guy named, a silly fellow named Sneako got into a little bit of an argument, right? And the argument basically came down, like, Moistcr1tikal reached out to Sneako, I believe, just to ask him about his views on, like, underage marriage, because Moistcr1tikal, from my understanding, was just trying to, like, get, and for all intents and purposes, I'll be calling him Charlie from here on, because that's his real name. So Charlie went to ask Sneako about his views on that. And he didn't understand that he was walking into a debate session, right? He just thought he'd be having a conversation, clearing some stuff up. He didn't want to think that Sneako actually was okay with underage marriage. He was wrong. Sneako is 100% fine with underage marriage. He uses his the fact that he's a Muslim to cover that up, like he's a Muslim convert. And, you know, what I've noticed about Muslim converts is that they're very weird about that, right? They're kind of like libertarians in that way. Now, not all Muslim converts are like that, but, like, I've noticed a trend. It's very interesting. So Sneako's pretty out and open with the fact that underage marriage is fine. You know, if a 14-year-old marries a 60-year-old, it's totally fine with him because the 14-year-old would be sexually developed. And that's pretty disgusting, actually. It makes me want to throw up. And it also makes Charlie want to throw up. And so Charlie and Sneako were having this conversation, and essentially what happened was Sneako made these views clear, and then he asked Charlie, well, do you think that a child should be allowed to, like, cut their dick off, right, for gender affirmation or whatever? Charlie affirmed, yes, I think that's fine. So optically, I can understand how this might look bad, because you shouldn't be doing, like, barring, like, extreme circumstances where the alternative is, like, the child is literally going to harm themselves or something. You should not be performing sex affirmation surgeries on minors. You just shouldn't be doing it. But what was lost in translation is that Charlie did not actually think that anybody was stupid enough to think that that's actually happening in any significant capacity. Like, the number of times that has happened is so fleetingly small that it may as well be zero. Like, you're talking the most extreme of extreme circumstances where the alternative is that the child literally, like, let's say it's like a 14, 15-year-old, and they're like, okay, like, if I don't get, like, they're literally self-mutilating, and, like, if I don't get rid of this body part, I am going to die, type thing. Like, that's the only circumstance in which it would be acceptable, right? But Charlie didn't understand that that was what Sneako was referring to. Like Sneako was literally referring to that. What Charlie was trying to say is, I am fine with trans children being affirmed in their gender, right? So I made this funny, I just like to talk a little bit about, like, my take on this, because I feel like that speaks for itself and doesn't need any deeper analysis, right? It does not need it. Yeah, base Charlie, right? Base Charlie and cringe Sneako, to say the least. Creep Sneako even, weirdo Sneako, who thinks that teenagers should be allowed to get married to 60-year-old grandpas, which is disgusting. So I made this funny little meme that ended up going viral on Twitter. It's got 178,000 likes. I said, Charlie's saying children can identify as a different gender, which that's his clarified real position that he holds, right? That's the position that he holds, is that children can identify as a different gender, go into certain medical treatments that are appropriate for their age group, and that's all fine and good with him, which is great, because I agree 100% with Charlie. Sneako, on the other hand, thinks that you should be allowed to marry a child. Now, people on Twitter have been focusing, and people on the internet in general, have been focusing on the fact that Charlie insinuated that he thinks that it's fine when children get their genitals chopped off, whatever, what have you, right? When that's not what Charlie really meant. He came out with a clarifying video in which he, you know, like I said, clarified his position on that. People are still being very disingenuous about it. And most of the comments, so I made this meme, and then most of the comments that are, like, getting mad at it essentially boil down to this meme, where it's like, oh, they're both bad. Oh, they're both bad. Right? Okay, no. Okay? Yes, it's bad if you believe that children should just be allowed to walk into a gender affirmation clinic, sit down on the operating table, and get a surgery done. Yes, that's bad. I still don't think that's as bad as being allowed to, like, marry a child, first of all. Okay? I still don't think it's as bad as that. And second of all, let's say that it is, right? That's not Charlie's position. His position is children can identify as a different gender. That's his position. So then this one popped off, of course, and people are like, well, I didn't say it's equally as bad. You're implying it, you dumb You're implying it. When you sit here and say both of these things are bad, they can both be bad at the same time, you are implying that they are equally bad. Okay? Shut the up. You are brain soup. All right? Your brain is soup. I do not have to take you seriously. That's why I made this meme instead of arguing with these dipshits. Okay? Now, if you are one of these dipshits who think that these are both equally bad positions, you're more than welcome to hit me up on Discord. I do take debate requests. I do take conversation requests. So hit me up on Discord. You can go to my Discord section where it says conversation. I think it's discussion requests is what it is. And you can leave your request there. Alternatively, you can join the Discord and just DM me directly. I take DMs directly. I'm okay at answering them, so especially if they're from new people. So the people that I actually care about, my friends, sometimes I ignore them. I apologize to my friends. But new people, typically I pay attention to those. So if you have any problems with anything that I've said here, which I believe to be incredibly reasonable, you can hit me up there. So like I said, there's not a whole lot to delve into here. That's the basic premise of the drama. If you want to go see the videos, you can see them for yourself. I'll leave a link in the description, I guess. I'll go seek them out and leave a link. If Dubsy, if you could remind me to do that, I'd really appreciate that. Dubsy's my editor, for those who don't know. And that's really all I have to say on this, unless chat has anything to add. What are your thoughts on puberty blockers at a young age? Puberty blockers are A-okay with me. They're great. They're reversible. In fact, I've made the assertion before that in an ideal society where there's no gender and puberty blockers have like zero side effects, which they do have side effects. You know, you have to weigh those, okay? But most are reversible. My position is that really, I think it's the ideal situation that we should hold off puberty as long as possible, because that would give people more time to decide. Like, okay, if you think that it's bad to literally inject a child with testosterone, you should also think it's like a pretty unfortunate happenstance of nature that we start natural testosterone production at the age of like as young as 10, you know, or even younger sometimes, like 8, right? You know, like it can start really young. Plus, we use them for precocious puberty and have been using them since like the 80s. So like there's no problem with puberty blockers whatsoever. They like make your bones like slightly less dense, which you can compensate for with calcium and vitamin D. So I just don't see a problem with it. I regret never having puberty blockers as a teenager. When I came out, now I have to do a lot more to fix it. Yeah, exactly. Puberty blockers literally stop you from needing more care later on, like more surgical care. It'll stop you from needing facial feminization or, you know, masculinization, as far as I think that's a thing, where you make your jaw more square, you know. It stops you from needing breast reduction surgeries or even like certain bottom surgeries. It'll stop you from needing like more invasive bottom surgery sometimes. I could be wrong on that one. From what I've heard, it's actually a little bit easier if you're not on puberty blockers for bottom surgery, but they're getting better about that. That part I could be wrong on. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.